bad. Yeah. This year, I will go after this season. I promise you.
She's not supposed to do this in a preseason game. But Caitlin Clark just turned a meaningless exhibition into the most meaningful homecoming women's basketball has seen in years. A sold-out crowd. National TV coverage. Fans camped outside like it was Drake night at Madison Square Garden. All for a WNBA preseason game against Brazil. This wasn't just a game. It was a coronation. And here's the part people don't want to admit. This moment wasn't about the Indiana Fever. It wasn't even about the WNBA. This was about Iowa. About a community that built a superstar from the ground up and now refuses to let her go. Caitlin Clark walked back into Carver Hawkeye Arena not as a college player, but as a prodigal legend. And the building roared like she never left. Signs, chants, standing ovations, in a Fever jersey. That's loyalty on another level. And when Caitlin said, "I'll always be a Hawkeye," the entire state of Iowa exhaled like their favorite daughter just made it back home safe. This wasn't a flashback. It was a full-circle moment. From dropping 40-foot bombs in the NCAA to signing autographs until her hand cramped, Clark isn't just playing in Iowa, she's redefining what it means to carry a city, a program, and now a league. No other rookie has ever had a fan base this ride or die. Not Taurasi, not Stewart, not even Parker. And make no mistake, the WNBA needed this. A sold-out arena for a preseason game? That's unheard of. But when Caitlin shows up, people don't ask what game it is, they just show up. That's not hype. That's history. Because this isn't just a player coming back home. It's a generation refusing to let go of the one icon who made them believe women's hoops could be this loud, this packed, and this real. And if that's the energy for preseason, you're not ready for what's coming next.
Clark, pull up three. You bet!
This wasn't Game 7. It wasn't even a regular season opener. It was preseason against Brazil. And Caitlin Clark still turned it into a global headline. People really showed up like it was March Madness all over again. Lines wrapped around the arena. National broadcasts. ESPN cameras rolling. Social media on fire. All for what should have been a low-stakes warm-up that barely made the schedule. But when Caitlin touches the court, the whole world watches like it's the Super Bowl of scrimmages. And here's the wildest part. She wasn't even cooking like that. Number 30-point night. No logo threes. Just vibes. But the energy, unmatched. The crowd wasn't reacting to the scoreboard. They were reacting to her existence. That's the Caitlin effect. She doesn't need the stat sheet to shift the atmosphere. She is the atmosphere. She could lace up in a gas station parking lot, and boom, it's sold out. Put her in a pickup game at Lifetime Fitness, and someone's live streaming it to 50K viewers. This is beyond basketball now. She's not just a player, she's a cultural event. And let's be real, the WNBA's never seen anything like this. Not for a rookie. Not for a preseason game. The league has been grinding for decades to get this kind of attention, and Clark pulled it in with one handshake, one tunnel walk, one, "Hi, I'm back." The Fever versus Brazil shouldn't be trending, but Caitlin made it feel like a Final Four rematch. That's not hype, that's impact. She doesn't just play games. She turns them into moments. And right now, everything she touches becomes prime time, whether the league's ready or not. So if this is what preseason looks like, imagine what happens when the games actually count. This isn't just fandom. It's a full-blown movement. And no one in the WNBA has a home crowd riding harder than Caitlin Clark. Most rookies step into the league and start from scratch. New city, new jersey, new fan base. But Caitlin, she brought Iowa with her. Every game she plays feels like a home game, because Iowa fans didn't just cheer her in college. They followed her into the pros. Fever jerseys in Hawkeye gold. Indiana hats in cornfield towns. People are repping both like it's one team, one mission, one legacy. People don't realize how rare this is. Most fan bases fade after the draft. You love a player in college, wish him luck, and move on. But Iowa said nah. They didn't just love Caitlin's game, they claimed her. She's not just a former Hawkeye. She's still their Hawkeye. on the road, in a new league, in a new state, and they're showing up like her story never ended. Clark even said it herself, "They cheer for the whole team, not just me." And that's what makes this different. It's not just about highlights or clout. It's about community. Iowa fans didn't just chase the hype. They adopted Indiana like it's part of their family now. That's generational loyalty. That's college sports energy bleeding into the pro level, and the WNBA desperately needed that bridge. Because let's be honest, the league's biggest challenge has never been talent. It's been retention. People tune in for March Madness and vanish by May. But Caitlin's fanbase said, "We're not going anywhere." And now, you've got Iowa grandparents learning the Fever roster, elementary school girls in Des Moines practicing Nalissa Smith layups, and entire towns planning road trips to Chicago just to see Clark drop dimes. This isn't just about basketball. It's about identity, memory, and a fanbase rewriting what post-college loyalty really looks like. And if you think this bond is peaking now, wait till the Fever start winning.
I mean, come on.
Imagine being 22 and already the face of a league that's been fighting for mainstream relevance for decades. Now imagine doing that while every move, every miss, every facial expression is getting clipped, posted, and debated on 5 different platforms in real time. That's Caitlin Clark's life. And no one's talking about just how insane that pressure really is. She said it herself, "Somehow it feels like the pressure is always just taking another level." That's not drama. That's reality. From high school prodigy to college icon to WNBA savior, she hasn't had a normal day since 10th grade. But now, the expectations are industrial-sized. Sellout crowds, national broadcasts, endorsement deals stacked to the ceiling. And oh yeah, she's supposed to carry a franchise that's been at the bottom of the standings since before TikTok was even a thing. And somehow, she still shows up like it's light work. "There's not a moment I haven't been in before," she told the press. And honestly, zero lies detected. Most rookies fold when the cameras zoom in. Caitlin's been living in that zoom since college. This isn't her first time in the fire, it's just the hottest it's ever been. But let's call it what it is. The WNBA's marketing strategy right now is basically, Caitlin, go viral. That's not a diss, that's the truth. Reddit's saying it. Twitter's screaming it. And the league knows exactly what they're doing. They've got a generational talent with a built-in fanbase and algorithm-breaking charisma. So every post, every promo, every mic in her face, it's not accidental. It's intentional. The risk. That kind of spotlight burns. Even legends like Diana Taurasi have hinted at it. Not everyone makes it out the other side when they're pushed this hard, this fast. And the scary part? Caitlin's not even deep into her first season yet. So here's the real question. How long can she carry the weight before it starts carrying her?
Camila Cardoso being that one in, having more space to open up the floor. She said she's really working on her face-up game.
We saw her as a senior as a 50-40.
Caitlin Clark didn't come to the WNBA just to hoop. She came to evolve. And right now, she's learning how to play chess in a league full of killers. Here's what people don't get. Being a generational scorer doesn't automatically make you a pro-ready system player. In college, Clark was the system. In Indiana, she's a piece of Steph White's puzzle, and that adjustment is where the real work begins. Clark said it herself, "Steph is big into numbers. This isn't playground ball anymore. This is matchup scouting, defensive rotations, player efficiency ratings, fatigue management, analytics run deep. And if you're not locked in, you'll get exposed." So what's Caitlin doing? She's building. Gaining muscle in the offseason, committing to next-level stamina, and learning how to read every inch of the floor, not just for her own shot, but for the whole team's rhythm. Watch her spacing. Watch her tempo. It's not just about pulling up from the logo anymore. It's about controlling pace and creating advantages in a league where everyone can cook. And Steph White isn't holding her hand. She's throwing her into the deep end, rotating lineups, switching coverages, pushing defensive schemes that demand IQ. Clark's not just surviving that. She's soaking it in. You can literally see her adapting. Fewer wild heat checks, more controlled pick and rolls, smarter closeouts on defense. She's already playing less like a college hero and more like a pro general. People love to say, she's struggling, but that's short-sighted. She's not just learning how to score, she's learning how to win in a league where talent is the baseline, not the ceiling. And honestly, that's what separates a highlight reel from a Hall of Famer. Clark's not just trying to go viral. She's trying to build a dynasty blueprint, and you can already feel the foundation being poured. So here's the real question. When it all clicks, how unstoppable will she be?
Putting this group together, obviously, once we get into the real heat of battle, that's where, those relationships...
Caitlin Clark isn't just dominating the WNBA, she's changing the game. And it's not just because she's draining threes from half court. She's now becoming the mentor, the leader, and the bridge between global basketball cultures. You know what that means? It means she's not just playing for herself anymore. When Clark took the court with Brazil's Damaris Dantas, the chemistry was instant. But it wasn't all about highlight reels. Caitlin dropped knowledge like a seasoned pro, telling the young Brazilian players, just enjoy the moment. Simple, right? But that's the kind of leadership you don't get from just anyone. That's Caitlin Clark showing us that the crown isn't just about scoring, it's about lifting the whole game. Let's be real though, the WNBA has always been US dominated, but Caitlin's impact is global now. Her story isn't just about Iowa anymore. It's about how women's basketball is evolving worldwide, and she's taking the world stage, one assist at a time. Watch the way she interacts with international players like Dantas. She's not just torching defenses, she's helping players from around the world level up. And that's huge. Here's why it matters. Caitlin's vision for the game isn't limited by borders. You think she's gonna settle for just taking over the States? No. She's out here showing the next wave of talent, everywhere, that women's basketball is a universal language. From the courts of Iowa to the gyms of Brazil, her influence is spreading, and you can't ignore it. But let's not act like it's all rainbows and mentorship. Caitlin's juggling being a superstar in a league that's still fighting for mainstream respect while doing what legends do, elevating others. That's a different kind of pressure. It's one thing to score 30 a night, it's another to help shape the future of the global game while you're still building your own. And that's the most dangerous part. Caitlin Clark isn't just the future of American basketball, she's helping to shape the future of the world's game. This is bigger than just one country, one league. This is a global takeover in real time. So here's the real question. As Caitlin's game grows, will the rest of the world catch up, or will she leave them in the dust?
And this building knows what that means.
Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball. She's rewriting the entire playbook for women's sports. Let's talk about what's happening here, because this is bigger than just her. People aren't ready to hear this, but Caitlin Clark is not just the future of the WNBA, she's the blueprint for its transformation. The league. It's finally getting the primetime recognition it deserves, and she's at the forefront of that revolution. Forget niche games on obscure channels. We're talking ESPN broadcasting preseason games like their Game 7 of the finals. That's Caitlin's influence. Her name alone draws crowds, brings eyes, and redefines how women's basketball is marketed. And it's not just about her. The Fever? Yeah, they knew what they were doing when they booked a game in Iowa. They weren't just playing a preseason game, they were betting on the fact that Caitlin Clark's star power could turn any game into an event. That's strategy. The WNBA's push is clear. We're here to take over. But hold up, this isn't a one-woman show. Enter Angel Reese, Juju Watkins, and the wave of women's athletes stepping up and turning this whole thing into something bigger. It's not just about balling out anymore. It's about personality, storytelling, and making the fans care about more than just stats. The old days of just play the game are out. Now, it's about bringing fans into the lives of these athletes, letting us see the fire, the passion, the rivalries, the drama. That's what the next generation of athletes are bringing to the table. And trust me, they ate. Here's the kicker, she's not a rookie, she's a movement. That quote. It's not just about Caitlin Clark. It's about this entire shift in how women's sports are consumed and celebrated. It's about buy-in from fans, sponsors, and the media. And if you're not paying attention, you're missing the revolution happening right in front of you. So, what's next? Will the WNBA's new era spread beyond a few superstars? Stay tuned. This is only the beginning. Let's talk about the haters. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. The ones who say Caitlin Clark's hype is overblown. That she hasn't translated all the flashy moments into wins just yet. They're out there, lurking in the depths of Twitter, Reddit, maybe even in the comment section of your favorite WNBA highlights. She's all hype, they say. Too much talk, not enough action. But here's the thing. People aren't ready to hear this. The conversation around Caitlin isn't just about box scores. It's bigger than that. Sure, the stats matter, but what the critics miss is her impact, her cultural relevance, her influence. People are talking about her because she's changing how we view women's basketball, and it's not just happening on the court. Look at the brand partnerships. Caitlin's not just a baller, she's a brand. A megastar. From Nike deals to major media collabs, she's reshaping the entire landscape of women's sports marketing. Those aren't just sponsorships, they're evidence of her power. Fans don't just want to watch Caitlin play, they want to be a part of her story, her brand. Her reach goes beyond the game. And let's not even talk about the fan engagement. The stands are packed when Caitlin shows up. A preseason game? Sold out. This isn't just about winning, it's about showing up, shifting the culture, and rewriting what it means to be a star in the WNBA. Her influence is seismic, even when she's not dropping 30 points. Here's the real hot take. Even when she's not putting up numbers that blow the roof off, Caitlin Clark is still the most important player in the gym. No lies detected. Stats are just numbers. Caitlin, she's a force. Year 1 was just the warm-up. Caitlin Clark's first season in the WNBA, it was legendary, but don't get it twisted, it was only the beginning. No. Year 2 is coming. And if you think that's just a next chapter, you're dead wrong. This is the sequel we've all been waiting for, the Empire Strikes Back of her career. Get ready. People aren't ready for this. Caitlin's already talking like she's ready to take over. She spent the offseason grinding, not just tweaking her game, but reprogramming her entire approach to the WNBA grind. Now year 2, having that under my belt, will be very helpful, she said. And that's an understatement. Her mindset, completely different. The first year was about adjusting to the league. Now, it's about dominating it. Let's talk about the real difference. She's had time to fully train like a pro. This isn't just some casual off-season vibe. She's bulked up, added strength, sharpened her skills, and learned how to stay ahead of the league's toughest defenders. And after sitting out those early games, you better believe Caitlin's itching to get back on the court. That frustration, it's fuel. You think she's not coming in hungry? She's about to feast. Look, year 2 is more than just playing better ball. It's about chemistry, with teammates, coaches, and herself. She knows the ins and outs now. The pressure's on, and guess what? Caitlin loves it. MVP buzz. It's real. And don't sleep on the playoff hype. People forget how fast the game moves. 1 year can change everything, and Caitlin's ready to prove that. Year 1 was just the starter pack. Year 2. This is the main event. And trust me, you won't believe what's coming next. Caitlin Clark walking back into Iowa? It's not just a homecoming, it's electric. A literal legend returning to the stage where it all started. But this time, she's not just a college star. She's a pro, the pro. People aren't ready for this level of intensity. She's older, stronger, and wiser, but the fire? Still burning. Watching her step back onto that court, you can feel it. The crowd's buzzing, the anticipation building. This is more than just a preseason game. This is nostalgia colliding with raw, untamed power. You remember what she did against Michigan, right? That Big Ten title, torching the competition like it was just another Tuesday. Now, it's different. She's come back with an upgraded game, a deeper mindset, and the kind of experience that only the pros can give you. But the best part? She's still the same Caitlin. Fierce. Relentless. Hungry. The noise from the crowd? It's deafening. That's the thing about legends. They don't need to announce themselves. Their presence fills the room. You can almost hear the fans chanting her name, just waiting for that next moment. The kind of moment where, if you blink, you'll miss it. You don't need to see it to feel it. Caitlin Clark is back. But here's the real question. If this is what she can do in a preseason game, what happens when it's go time? When the stakes are real? When it's the playoffs and the whole world's watching? Caitlin's been built for that pressure. She thrives on it. She may be a pro now, but trust me, Caitlin Clark will always be a Hawkeye. And she's not just a problem, she's still the problem.